Vice President of Governmental Affairs for the Minnesota Realtors.
And I'm Ryan Hamilton, Associate Legal Counsel with the Minnesota Realtors.
Thanks for watching this week's legislative update. Last week was a busy week on a number of fronts, and Ryan and I are going to cover a couple of issues that we think you'll find interesting and that are actually very important to our membership. I'm going to cover an issue related to investigation costs that are charged by the Department of Commerce. In current law, the department is prohibited from charging investigation costs to a natural person, that's a key phrase that I'll come back to, if the investigation results in no finding of violation. And this language applies to real estate licensees as well as insurance agents. And a bill brought forward by the appraisers this year would also add appraisers to that language. We also asked for an amendment to that language, and we've been working on that issue with the appraisers as well as the bill authors that would add the words "or entity" to the natural person language. And basically what this language says and how it's been translated or interpreted by the Department of Commerce is that if the department does an investigation of a real estate licensee, let's say it's a broker, and that investigation does not that results in a finding of no violation, the department by law is prohibited from charging the costs of that investigation back to the broker. Unfortunately, the department has interpreted that language as allowing them to charge the business entity. So in an example, a broker could be found to have not committed a violation and still end up paying the cost if the department chooses to bill that brokerage. And we feel that this is not consistent with the intent of that statutory language, and so we've been working with various legislators and the appraisers to add language that was successfully added in both the Senate and House Commerce Committees last week and is now in the bill that the appraisers brought forward on the floor and awaiting final action. Stay tuned, because I'm sure there'll be a number of discussions going forward with the department on this issue, because they did get up and oppose it in committee. But we do feel this is an important issue, and this was an opportunity to clarify that with the appraiser bill that came forward. Now I'm going to turn it over to Ryan.
Thanks, Paul. The past few sessions I've spoken to you about the moratorium ordinance bill, but I'll change. We're still very active on that bill, but I'm going to change gears a little bit, talk to you about another issue that you might find interesting, and that deals with drones, unmanned aerial vehicles, the little 40-pound robotic devices that can be equipped with cameras. We think that drones might be interesting or might be useful to realtors as a means to photograph properties, but currently there's not any regulation. I mean, ultimately that will come from the FAA on the federal level, but in the meantime, this Minnesota Department of Transportation is working on a drone regulation legislation being carried by Senator Rest and Representative Newberger. And what that would simply do is just streamline the regulatory and registration process for zones. Under current law, drones, there's no independent or separate definition, so they're treated as aircraft. So if you were to go through the FAA process and then the current Minnesota process to operate a drone for your brokerage, it's a very lengthy and arduous process. What the Department of Transportation is trying to do this year is streamline that process. So I just wanted to introduce that issue to you. Drones, I think it might be something fascinating in the future, so stay tuned. Thank you.